Where is your sword?
Don't need it. Listen to me, my son. You don't have enemies. The truth is, nobody has them.
Hello, so I am currently back in the motherland to avoid the harsh winters of the United States of Miles, and I've been kind of busy with a few things. However, this also means I have access to do two things freely: drinking and driving. Separately. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't afford to run over a family of 5 while drinking some driving juice. That would heavily decreases my chance of returning to the United States. While I do enjoy driving a lot, to a certain extent in the streets of Vietnam, and I also occasionally recreate the intro of King of the Hill, I think that there are already enough bad drivers out there. Sober. Now, I'm not one to judge, right? Because I only just recently got my license over the summer, so I'm still a wee little lad when it comes to controlling a portable tank. However, there are some really bad drivers out there. I do not know what to tell you. But back to the main point. Why do you drink and drive? Now, this can obviously be quickly summed up or answered with, oh, it's fun, it's a high you chase, or people get stupid when they're crunk and they do stupid shit. Which is all true statement, and it is very fair. But I am here to ask the questions that literally nobody asks. And in a sense, I understand the appeal of it, because driving's really fun, right? And once this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. And then there's just like drinking, alcohol, and all that. It messes and imbalances the chemicals inside your brain with like dopamine, endorphins, serotonin. That's right, I am using big words. This shit means something to me. But both of these activities are already dopamine inducing by themselves already. I mean, at some point in your life, depending on who or where you are, you're gonna feel like Ryan Gosling either way if you just boot up asphalt, and you're automatically an alcoholic if you're a 3-year-old French baby. Hello, I am currently in the pedestrian demolisher that my family owns, and it is currently in my custody for the rest of my time here. So if this thing crashed or is dented, I am gonna lose both of my kidneys along with my liver. Besides, it's been a blast having private forms of transportation rather than taking public transit like a fucking scrub, you know? I'm going back there in 2 weeks. But if you don't really know cars, here's the basics of it. First, you start the engine, and depending on which kind of car you drive, whether it's automatic or manual, there are different kind of ways to go around it. Thankfully, and unfortunately, I have been taught and driven both manual and automatic cars. As for manual cars, after starting it, you gotta press on the clutch pedal, and then shift gears to 1. Then you want to really slowly release the clutch pedal as well as the brakes so the car can get going, so the engine can start running. And then you can finally press on the gas pedal, moving it up. As the speed goes up, you change the gear, and once again, you would have to touch the lights and the clutch pedal. And as for automatics, yeah, you get the gist of it. These are all fun stuff, really. I mean, the funner stuff starts to happen when you start actually going on the road, you know, and potentially get like 20 speeding tickets for no reason. Because I don't know about you, but I find driving to be a really relaxing activity. But then again, I am not on the road that much on a daily basis, nor do I drive for a living. Because I've been told by my family and multiple people that I will get bored of this, or I will grow tired of it really quickly, just because how frequent I will be driving later on, depending on whether I'm driving at all, and just traffic in general. However, this is still a very decompressing activity to me. Maybe because I don't really drive around that often, nor do I spend that much time on the road, or maybe because I'm just still currently unemployed. Your boy recently got a job. But once you're used to it, you just kind of get into this weird zone, right? Like this zen-like area where you're just one with the car and the car is one with you, and you can feel every part of it, the engine, the wheel, just you, the car, and the road. Not to mention the potential 50 points that you might run into on the road. God fucking damn it, why are you even honking when you're not trying to pass? Move, you fat ass! We've been warned about the evils of alcohol and probably got beaten up or locked up in the gulag for wanting a bottle or two as a wee little teenager. I know I was, and there are stories that involves vodka and beer that I am taking to my graves instead of telling my parents. And if you are watching this, I'm
Chicken.
But I am now a certified unk, which means this can be legally injected into my veins. For now. Even then, I would still say that it's only pretty good. You can have it from a bar, from afar, away from a car, and even after a spar. The idea of cracking open a cold one after a long day is pretty appealing, I will not lie. But in the end, it is still only in the realms of pretty good. See, as often as I joke about having brown milk from a really ugly goat, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't really drink it very often unless it is out of custom, respect, or I'm having a good time surrounded by people that I feel safe around. And I am not very picky when it comes to my alcohol either. If it makes my brain feels funny, it is going down the hatch and coming out of my ass. As for the non-alcoholic enjoyers and also flavored alcohol enjoyers out there, you guys are alright. Listen, I don't have much of an opinion on it because I'm not in the generation bracket to be calling a person a bitch for not liking beer. Everyone just has their own preferences, and mine just so happens to be a drunken Chinese uncle on a sidewalk. Of course, it's still a really good idea to stay away from alcohol as often as possible because it is only instant gratification with long-term negative effects. So it really is not the best thing in the world because in the end, you don't really want to wake up hungover butt booty naked in a hotel room and having to solve a murder while the voices in your head is constantly speaking to you now, would you? Wait a minute, that actually sounds pretty fun. But as long as you're in a safe environment with a healthy amount of intake with no politics involved, then I think everything should be fine. Alright, now that we know that we get zoomies from driving and like 20 different debuffs, with 2 to 3 buffs at best when we drink, it's like 2 different flavor profiles. Cheese and strawberries. But what if you take the car keys and the alcohol, then smash together those 2 different expressions of dopamine and push out a drunken mass? Hungover technique, car crash. Yeah, that's not really good at all. Unfortunately, I still don't get it. On one hand, both of these things are very, very dopamine inducing, but at the same time, there is such a thing as too much dopamine. Besides, do you really want to be sluggish and foggy while operating a 4-wheeled cargo box? Now, I know what you're thinking. What about that video where the drivers of Dublin got a lot better after downing 4 shots of whiskey and 7 pints? Well, let me ask you this then. Are you Irish? If the answer is yes, then honestly, good for you, dude. But the rest of us are not, and I don't want to fuck around and find out because my bloodstream is made out of 70% water and not whiskey. The Irish is just honestly built different. But then that would make this video kind of pointless because I am not properly experiencing this extreme sport. But at the same time, I don't really want to drink and drive because a lot of people want to see me alive and not break a few laws in the Geneva Convention. Nor do I want to get my ass beat or potentially murdered for crashing the family's car. So what exactly can I do? I think I get it now.